Today we've got some incredible game-changing updates to Brighter Shores, which changes the fundamentals of the game in the way that it can be played. And what we're going to do is talk through that, and then I'm going to give you my opinions on it. Is it a good change? Is it a bad change for the better of the game? We'll go into that. But certainly you do want to log on to Brighter Shores if you haven't already to check out some of these new updates. And now that Andrew's back from his holiday and the team are back from holiday and the break, we're going to see some incredible changes and updates coming into the game in the next month or two. I think after being well rested, they're going to turbocharge forward with so many great updates. You can now queue multiple actions to run one time after another. This is particularly useful for foraging, fishing, woodcutting, and mining. For example, you can click on each of the trees in a chunk to have your player chop down each tree in turn. To queue an action, instead of running it immediately, just press shift and left mouse button. If you wish, you can change which shortcut is used to queue actions from the controls interface. And yes, that's exactly what I did. I went into the controls interface and just changed it to left click, essentially. Now, what does this mean? I will show you an example of this on screen right now of how it works. So you can see that you are able to click on multiple nodes at once, and it will come up with a number, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And this is the order that you've clicked those nodes in, and essentially your character will then go and collect each of those nodes. What does this mean? It means that there's going to be a sort of 20 to 30 second downtime of certain activities, which means that it's just going to be more relaxing and chill as a game. You don't have to necessarily click on an item, then go over and to click onto another item for it, waiting for it to respawn. At this moment, you can actually queue all those items, and it makes it less annoying. And it makes it more appealing to the casual player, I think, as well, because you can then just queue up actions. You can then just go and reply to a message. Maybe you're watching a YouTube video. Maybe you're doing something else. It means that you don't have to pay as much attention to the game. Now, interestingly, it doesn't make it necessarily less interactive, because actually, if you think about it, you're still doing the same number of clicks. You've still got to click the 7 nodes. Just the difference is that you're just going to have more downtime. And this is a fantastic update for a lot of skills, as was mentioned here by Andrew. And essentially, it's going to change the game fundamentally into a game that you can play more casually as well. So if you want to play more hardcore, you can do. But if you want to play casually, you can just put your Brighter Shores client at the side, put it on a second monitor, queue up these clicks, and then go play your main game. So certainly this is a fantastic update. There's absolutely no reason, if you are interested in Brighter Shores, why you wouldn't necessarily play this at this point, because you can do things semi-AFK as well. So we're going to see more updates such as dungeons, new bosses, new mobs, new drops, unique items that you can get from different mobs. So there is going to be that challenging content there where you can play more actively, but for skilling, this just makes it more chill. For example, in RuneScape, right, when you're fishing, you just click on one spot and then you wait 30 seconds and then you got to click on another spot. Well, this is essentially, in a way, how it's done, in the sense that, but this is different in the sense that you are just clicking on, say, 7 nodes at a time, and then you just come back after 30 seconds after you've gathered all those nodes, essentially. So, and I've just been messing around with it for sort of like an hour or two, and it just feels better. When you play the game now, it feels so much better, so much more smooth with this latest update. So do try it out. Let me know what you think about it. I personally like it. Now, there is only one criticism. At the moment, when you do queue up all your nodes and you've got someone on your friends list that you want to chat to, you can't actually chat to them whilst queuing, so it will cancel the queue essentially. Now, I think that's something that is a minor issue that is going to be fixed pretty soon, so don't worry about that. But overall, what does this allow us to do? It allows us to be a bit more chill when we're skilling on the click intensive skills like mining or foraging. It allows us to be more socially interactive because we can queue up 6 or 7 actions and then basically just chat to people in the game. And thirdly, it turns it into more of a second monitor game if you require or need to play it as a second monitor game. That's the key word. okay, because it's about variety. It wants to give you the choice. Do you want to play more actively? You can be rewarded by X, Y, and Z if you play it more actively. Do you want to play as a second monitor game whilst you play RuneScape or whatever other game? This allows you to do that now because you can queue up actions. Or do you barely just not want to really log on as much at the moment because you just want to wait a few months to see what updates come out? You can absolutely do that by setting up a semi-AFK, should I say, setting up a passive activity, and you just log on every 24 hours and you can gain a bit of XP. Now, this leads on to the second update here. First of all, to mention with that, with the queuing update, he also mentioned now when certain collectibles, blocks, NPCs respawn, such as foraging items, fish, trees, brambles, ores, etc., all the matching blocks NPCs in the same room will also respawn in rapid succession. This doesn't let you level up any faster, but is less frustrating and goes well with the new queuing feature described above. So essentially you can clear a room of resources and then those resources respawn ready for you to queue up and click 6 times again to then leave it for 10-20 seconds and then come back. So it just feels more chill. I like it personally. It's a fantastic update. Go try it out, because at the end of the day, when you was foraging before, and I found this, or fishing or whatever, the idea that you had to then press the sense spell and then click on one item, then your character would move to it, and then you click on another and your character would move to it. This makes things like fishing so much chill, because you could just be in the water, click all 6 fish, and then fish them all, then they respawn, and you do the same thing again. It just gives it that extra feel of you can be on for a few hours if you want to, just constantly fishing. Whereas before, I feel like people were getting a bit of burnout, like they had to click and then leave it, and then click, and then you had to like just constantly be looking and searching for the fish in the water, and then clicking, and just, it was just annoying, right? It was just annoying. It was annoying people, and people weren't. There was sort of the casual player out there was not willing to grind because of how tedious it may have seemed. Now it's easier. Now it's more chill, and hopefully that brings back some of the casual players that are willing to play. I think that this update is good for content creators like streamers, because it allows them to reply to their chat much more actively, because they can click the nodes. They've got 20 seconds to glance at the chat and then glance back, obviously playing the game. So this is fantastic for the Twitch community. Now, don't forget to watch all the Twitch streamers. They are all fantastic stuff going on over there. So they are holding up the end on the Twitch category there. Go check them all out. And what you can do now is essentially queue up your sense spell. So the sense spell is where it flashes, and then you're able to see all the resources in the area very visually. Then you click on the resources, say in fishing, and then you just wait till you do all you complete gathering all the fish, and then repeat the loop. So it leads to more relaxing gameplay, and it's less annoying. The game is smoother. It feels smoother, especially now with the one click that's been out for ages. You don't have to like click multiple times to actually gather one thing. They're making the game incredibly smooth to play, and that is the key word, is smooth. Add a master volume control to the settings interface. We all know the music in Brighter Shores is absolutely fantastic. Even Bertie's talked about this. He absolutely loves the music in Brighter Shores. And this is just, Andrew's just come back off holiday, and some of the team have just come back off holiday, and this is what they're already producing for us. So if this is what we get right just off when they've come back from holiday, think what we're going to get in the next few weeks. So they're going to be incredible updates coming, and join it for the journey, right? This is a game that's constantly improving. Play as the game grows. Play as these updates happen, because it's such a nice experience to see the game improve all around you. Give it a chance. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.